Welcome! In this tutorial, we decided to recreate the AMD logo from scratch. Our goal isn't to use the logo, but to demonstrate the process of building a well-designed symbol. It's a simple exercise, perfect for beginners who want to practice working with basic tools and techniques in Illustrator. As you can see, a logo can be created from just a few simple elements. Now let's get to work. Let's insert the logo file as a reference. A logo usually consists of two elements: the logotype, which is the part containing the company name, and the symbol, the graphic mark. In this tutorial, we will focus on drawing the symbol. Let's crop the file. Make sure the object is selected, then choose the cropping option. While enlarging the object, hold down the Shift key. This will scale it proportionally. In the Properties panel, let's lock the object so it won't interfere with our drawing and will become invisible to the mouse. We can unlock it at any time. For now, unlock it briefly, reduce its opacity. And then lock it again. Let's draw the first square. Select the rectangle tool. While drawing, hold down the Shift key to create a perfect square. A note for beginners: when finishing the shape, release the mouse button first, and only then gently release the Shift key. Let's adjust the object's properties so that it has a subtle stroke and no fill. Now it's time for the smaller square. Copy the square you've just drawn and paste it in the same place. You can use the commands from the Edit menu or the corresponding keyboard shortcuts. While resizing the new object, hold down the Shift and Alt keys. This way, you scale it proportionally from the center. The resulting square is perfectly centered inside the larger one. Now it's time for the triangles. There are several ways to draw them. Ours should be right-angled, and based on intuition, they should be half of a square. That's why we will create them by cutting the smaller square in half. Let's start by duplicating the object. Drag it while holding the Alt key on Windows or the Option key on Mac. Then select the knife tool. This part is very important. While holding Alt or Option, drag a line from one corner to the opposite corner. Click an empty area to deselect everything, then select one of the triangles and move it slightly to the side. If you didn't manage to cut the object evenly, make sure that Snap to Points was enabled. Next, we'll rotate the triangle. Holding the Shift key will rotate it in 45-degree increments. Now let's align it to the large square. With the triangle selected, click on the large square while holding Shift. This will allow you to select both objects at the same time. Then click the square again, this time without holding Shift. It will turn blue, indicating that it is now the key object, meaning the alignment will be based on it, and it will stay in place. Let's align the objects to the right and to the bottom. Let's repeat the process with the second triangle. This time aligning it to the left and to the top. The basic shapes are ready. Let's hide the reference file, then remove the stroke and set the fill colors. Let's take a look at our work. We can see some imperfections in the vector shapes. What's worse, if the central elements are white, they only look good on a white background. It would be better if there were transparency in those areas. Let's revert the object so that it has only the stroke. I'd like to show you two possible ways to solve this problem. So let's duplicate the logo. Hold down Alt and move the object. A copy will appear. If you also hold Shift, the new object will move along the vertical axis. The first solution will be based on the Pathfinder. Select the three smaller objects, Click on the first one, then hold Shift and click on the other two. In the Pathfinder panel, choose the Unite option. Take a look at what we got. I moved the object to better show the effect. You don't have to do this. Next, select both objects and choose the minus front option. Looks great. The second solution is based on the popular shape builder tool. It's easier, but I think it's still worth knowing the first method. Before using the tool, make sure all objects are selected. Since we want to remove the central part, hold down the Alt key and drag through the elements you want to get rid of. The result looks just as good as in the previous method. This method creates two separate objects. Let's group them to make them easier to use in the future. And that's it, we've successfully recreated the AMD logo. Our goal was to show the process behind its creation. Along the way, we practiced tools and techniques that will be useful when designing our own original graphic marks. Great job! In the next tutorial, we'll draw the Nike logo. I know there are already similar examples online, but I noticed a small detail that affects its quality. Let us know in the comments which logo you'd like us to practice in future tutorials. If you've made it this far, you're invited to enjoy a reward. A not-so-funny joke that only graphic designers find amusing. If you don't want Mr. Prickle to get lost in the forest, subscribe.